Hope Behind Bars Africa disclosed that death penalty is a violation of international human rights law, urges the judiciary not to impose death penalty without concrete evidence, also not to waste time on trials. This was made known during the Hope Behind Bars Africa launching of 5 years impact report held in Abuja as Funke Adeoye exposed that they are willing and ready to work hand in hand with other stakeholders in order to kick against injustice, also revealed cases that they have treated.
The aspect of death penalty that compulsorily gives the capital punishment for any that compulsorily give the capital punishment for anyone who has committed a crime is against international human rights law. So what I said is the mandatory death penalty, which is the rule that specific crimes carry the capital punishment irrespective of the situation around it. Now, is against international human rights law based on the treaties that we've signed as a country. And also that in a country like Nigeria with a justice system that has several challenges, that has several issues, death penalty is final when it is done. It cannot be changed. And so if there is a room for a shadow of doubt that something might have gone wrong in the process of trial, in the process of prosecution, then we should be very careful with imposing, something final like the death penalty on people. So that 40% or the majority of the crimes or the cases we've handled are actually simple cases. Cases like people hawking and arrested because they were hawking, cases that the sanction is less than 3 years. So we often have those kind of cases. We also find very frequently people arrested by members of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad for armed robbery. Yes, most of the times armed robbery. But when we go into the nitty-gritty of the case, we find that there is really no base for it. Like when you go through the case file, you find that there is no evidence. Most of those cases are stalling for years on ending because there is really no evidence against the persons that are on trial. Collaborations, right? In the past 5 years, we've achieved many of the things that we've achieved through collaborations. And yes, so going forward, we are very open to work with all stakeholders. And the truth is, every Nigerian is a stakeholder in the criminal justice system. When we look at how these issues affect us, we know that we can't just leave it to the government alone or leave it to the third sector, the CSOs. So we are very open to collaborating with religious bodies to help us achieve our missions. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Moso Rosemary Ochinwo said that their organization do exercise skill acquisition to prisoners in order to provide for self after freedom.
We don't just represent these inmates and leave them. We follow up. We try to see how we can reintegrate them back into society. And during her press statement, she gave the example of Kristen. This is a case that we handled some years back, but we are still actively involved in his life, and we have supported him to the point where he's now married, he has a job, and we are still following up. So the representative of AIT said something very clear about skill acquisition. So for us, we feel that if we are able to empower people after their stay behind bars, it's going to reduce the causes of recidivism. It's going to give them the capacity to provide for themselves.
However, Ogona Okeke advises the government to allow prisoners serve outside the prison wall, that all crime should not lead to detention.
I think a movement that is starting off in Nigeria now is pushing for non-custodial measures. So there is a big advocacy for the prison facilities or the correctional facilities to move towards adopting non-custodial measures. These measures are basically sentencing that allow convicted people to serve their sentences outside of the custodial centers. Not every crime needs to be punished with incarceration, for example. So someone commits a petty offense, we can sentence them to community service. They even serve the community by doing that, instead of throwing them into the custodial centers. Also, we need to advocate for speedy trials. Most times you have criminal cases lasting 17 years, 16 years, and these people people are just remanded, they are sitting in correctional centers. The government is paying for them, funding them with tax money that could be used for other things. So if we're able to, work on our criminal justice systems, the judiciary, the prosecution and all that.
Atonda Babatunde, GTV Africa.